Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another day at the Pet Lovers Summit. I have with me today JT Clough, and the name of our interview today is called Letting Go of the Story to Help Your Pets Grow. JT Clough started training dogs back in 2001 after moving to San Diego. Taking her dog to Del Mar Dog Beach, that's a tongue twister for me for whatever reason, and finding out the hard way that he was seriously dog reactive. She moved to pursue Ironman training and ended up a 9-time Ironman finisher. Woo! 2 of these finishes as world championships. These 2 life-changing events have been the basis of why dog life advisor and mindset coach are among the many titles that her private clients describe her as. Over the years of coaching people and their dogs, take her right back to why she became a dog trainer to start with. Her belief is that you don't always get the dog that you want, you get the dog that you need. There's a song in there somewhere. What became apparent as a trainer and a coach is that dogs who are suffering from anxiety, fear, reactivity, aggression, overexcitement, and a host of other behaviors are oftentimes reflecting the behavior of their owner and wants to fix themselves up deep down inside. So true. She finds stories tell people about their dogs are often analogies they are holding on to about themselves. I love this. Husbands and wives, partners and housemates argue over how to deal with a dog that has issues, and often it's a reflection of the emotions running rampant in the household. Through her coaching and dog training, she not only guides her dog to a better life, their dog, but themselves as well. She currently offers private lessons, epic dog and puppy camps, and an online group coaching program. JT Clough, welcome. Thank you for being part of the Pet Lovers Summit.
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. This is just, I love this stuff. It's so fun, and meeting people and then hearing what everybody else has to say and sharing just dog knowledge throughout the community and letting that spread out. I'm so excited to be here for that reason. Yeah.
Sharing the love. We love that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm really been looking forward to this topic because it's definitely, even reading your bio, there's so much of it that I have parallels. I've found the same thing in my work as well. So what do you want to, should we start with maybe just defining what does it mean letting go of the story? What is the story? Should we start there?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. So people get dogs in various different stages of their lives, both in the person's life, but also in the dog's life. And, there's a story that comes with when you get a puppy and something happens. And then there's also a story that comes with when you've rescued a dog and what this dog has been through before. And the truth of the matter is, if you really dissect down those stories, to find truth in them, a lot of times it's not there. I hear some of the wildest stories people tell me about what their rescue has been through. And then I'll ask them, well, where did what rescue did you get at? How did you find out all of this background? Oh, they were just, it was a weekend thing. And I just fell in love with the dog. And I'm like, and so the story came from where again?
Right.
So it is honestly something that they've made up in their mind and said it to themselves so many times that it's true.
Yes.
They also are creating it, by the way, by saying it so many times in their mind.
Yes.
They are creating it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And just as background, I love psychology. I believe the psychology is that if you tell someone a lie 3 times, they believe it to be truth.
Yes.
So, and we do that to ourselves all the time, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. For certain.
Okay. Right. So the story is basically about trauma and issues, whether real or imagined. And pet caretakers are hanging on to them and somehow manifesting something totally different that you get to deal with.
Yes. Yes, it is true. It is what I have grown to love about what I do, because as trainers who've been in it for a long time, many of them have burned out and
Yeah.
no longer are trainers and things like that. I was lucky enough to have gone through that burnout and then have something traumatic enough happen to me, myself, my dog's along for the ride with me on it.
Right.
And learning all of that for myself, when I came back to dog training, which was, I have a home veterinarian. I love her. She comes, sees my pets at home.
Beautiful.
She walked in my door and was like, why aren't you training dogs? I cannot get anybody who does it like you did. I need your help. I love my client, right? So she started sending me dogs, and boom, I came back from where I was. But the beauty in that was the understanding of where this was really coming from and stories and things like that. So I was able to take what I do, understanding about dog behavior, and then the stories and how we live them out, and really bring that into what I do now. And it's just it's so great to watch people unfold from it and watch dogs unfold from it. And but it's not common. A lot of people will say, hey, you're a dog trainer, and they're going to think that I'm going to teach you only this. Come here, sit down, stay, heel.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And it's not even about that, really.
Right. And it's amazing because you're really understanding what's happening with the animals on a deeper level, which really is that, in my perspective anyway, that we are not only mirrors for each other, we're attracted to each other because we have similar stories and or energies, and it grows in that way, and we're constantly projecting our stuff onto the animal, and it just gets worse and worse. So it's beautiful that you see that and you can break that up.
Yeah. I love seeing it. I teach in analogies a lot.
Yes, love that.
You know, because all of the things that are happening really are so habitual for most people that they don't even realize they're doing it. They have no idea that they're doing it. Yet at the same time, this very same person says to themselves when they wake up in the middle of the night, I wish so badly I just would stop doing that. Or I feel bad for acting this way. I don't want to act that way anymore. Right. Or I'm tired of feeling so anxious about this. Why am I so anxious about this? I'm not going to be anxious about this anymore. And then they go back to being anxious about it. And it's this circle, and you literally have to start making a different viewpoint and a habit out of it. And it's no different with the behavior of our dogs. And so that is a circle that we're living with our dogs.
Yes, absolutely. And we can totally reprogram ourselves. Our brain is an amazing healing machine, and it does not have to be stuck on the replay button. I can tell you that for certain.
Yes. I'm so happy I found that out too, because it was on not a good channel for a while.
It's not a good channel. No. And so, okay. So can you maybe help the viewers understand, like, how do we sit back from what's happening with our pet and maybe see it from a distance so that we can understand it better? Is that something that you could walk us through?
Sure. So a lot of times what I started noticing was when I was working with people and they would have a certain behavior in their dog that was really difficult for them to deal with, anxiety, reactivity. You watch what happens and you see that the person sees the dog doing it and they keep focusing on what the dog's doing wrong. And then they give all their attention to what the dog's doing wrong. And they keep reinforcing what the dog's doing wrong. And interestingly enough, they are doing the same thing to themselves in all of these choices that they make. Yes. So one of the things that I like to teach is this. It's a mouthful, so I'm going to read it because I give this to people all the time. Between stimulus and response, there is space. in that space is our power to choose our response.
Mm.
In our response lies our growth and freedom. And that was done by Viktor Frankl. I don't know if you know anything about him, but he lived through some amazing things that he used his mental energy and power and knowledge to get himself to a better place.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So that right there it's a mouthful, but if you digest all of that down, it really is, think about the reactions that you have all the time, whether it be to a family member, husband, wife, partner, child, friend, relative, these things that somebody says to you, and you have that automatic reaction. And
yes.
And after you have that reaction, you're like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Or it's like, you just wish you would have done it another way. Or you walk around not realizing it, filled with anxiety and filled with reactivity, because all of the stuff keeps building up with this automatic reaction.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about that analogy, people can visualize them doing it. We've all done it. We also, no matter how much you practice, there's still a moment that you will do it if something really sets you off.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of practice, right? Well,
yes.
Think about that. If you look at when your dog does something, goes into anxiety, goes into reactivity, goes into just unruly behavior, not listening to you, they're doing an automatic response without thinking about it. And it's been practiced.
Yes.
And so for us to stand there and say, hey, stop it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that we're telling ourselves in our mind, and we're not doing it. We're not making a slight different choice in the middle of that stimulus to do something different.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love that. I love that. And so how do we let go of that story? How do we make that change? Where do we start?
Okay. So you asked me, where do we start? How do we start to change that, whether it be in our dog or ourselves? And honestly, it ends up being both of you, because you have to lead your dog. And that's just
right.
People talk about leading their dog. They do have to, because dogs don't have the ability to do that on their own. But where I go with it in the very beginning is less talk, more showing. Because less talk, more showing means that we have a habit of reacting by automatically spurting something out. No, stop doing that. Right?
Yes.
Get down. Oh no. Oh, like there's all of this.
Love that. That's a good one.
You see a dog coming, like, oh God, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, what am I gonna do? Right? Or, I walk trails all the time. This is what I do. Right? Stop, no, right? It's not helping. Yeah. It's not helping.
No.
So I immediately have people spend a little bit of playtime with their dog and get them to do what they want them to do without talking to them.
Okay. For example,
if I was going to, we're going to take the example of dog jumping on you. Okay. Dog comes and jumps on you. You say, no, get down. Dog comes and jumps on you again. No, get down. This has been going on for months. And in fact, so much so, now, another piece to this is dogs learn and think in pictures. They don't have a prefrontal cortex to think this out, right? Mm-hmm. So you have named, no, don't jump on me over and over and over again. So now your dog, let's pretend, could talk English and has a friend come over, wanted to show off, and was like, hey, Roxy, check it out. This is what I know. Check this out. This is no, get down. She would run over, jump on you. You'd be like, no, get down. You'd be like, yeah, see? I told you so. I am so good at this, right? Dog doesn't understand. You've always given that inflection. So it's like, well, apparently this is what I'm supposed to do. You've named it over and over and over and over again. I'm super good at it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Automatic reaction. What if my reaction were this instead? Dog comes and jumps on me. I stay calm. I look at the dog. I use hand signals or whatever. I maybe even help them at the same time. Sit. And I give them a reward. What a good dog.
Wow. Okay.
Now, every time my dog starts to come to me, I'm going to look at him and go sit. And what is he going to do? The automatic response is going to start happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, you become good at something when you can do it skillfully without thinking about it, like driving a car. You get in a car, you do all of these things, you don't think about it, you practice it, practice it, practice it. Well, this dog has practiced jumping up on you really, really well. So what if we flip that around into, what do I want them to do without a whole bunch of words?
Yeah.
Get them to do it, show them how to do it, reward them, sit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What in that instance, and this is just one instance, it ramps up in what's going on, but what the analogy that I want to give is back to the quote that I talked about. What happens between stimulus and what you do? What happens in between there? Mm-hmm. Do you automatically start bursting out with stuff, or do you bring yourself back? What do I want to happen right now? I'm not going to focus on what I don't want to have happen. I'm going to bring it into focus what I do want to have happen. And that goes all the way from a simple teaching your dog not to jump on you to when you spin yourself up into an anxiety mess, you bring yourself back to that space and go, okay, is this real right now? What choice can I make, rather than looking at, oh my God, this is happening. This bad happened, or this is happening.
Right. I love that. I love that. And I still like everything you say, basically. I'm just like, yep, in there. Yep. Yes. That happens a lot in my work too. Yes. Even the thing with pictures, I always tell people, because I believe we were created to communicate with animals because we think in pictures and they receive in pictures. And so, but the problem with that is, as you say, if we're constantly like, oh no, he's going to jump up on me, and we think that picture, then the dog's like, oh, cool. Yeah, I can do that. Jump up on
picture keeps going, right? So right back to the title of this talk today. When these stories that we keep creating in our mind about what happened to the dog and why I have to it's okay because it had a bad life before. Yes. You're just repeating this story, and the story gets bigger and bigger. Yes. And you keep adding little pieces to the story about how bad it is, instead of making the story what you want it to be.
I love that. Creating your own story, letting go of the past. And we can all learn from animals how to be in the present moment. Humans are challenged in that area, in most humans. Yeah. It's challenging for us.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, cool. Can you give me an example of maybe a story that comes to mind of one of your clients that you had a similar thing happen? There was a story, they let it go, there was a result.
Yeah. What's that?
Oh, I just said so many, right? So
there are so many. There's a lot of stories around barking and reactivity and things like that, that I take the dog and start, it goes away immediately. And so
love that.
Like, it is so, okay, I need to teach you that this is behavior between the two of you. But let me give you an example. And here's a story that was hung on to. Okay. So a person gets puppy. Puppy is he's a full bred, and they want to show the dog, and all kinds of stuff. And so there's a lot of fanfare that's been put over this puppy. So in training, want to training. Dog is very, very smart, but in the training, there was always something wrong. Like, oh, I can't do this with him because he's going to get sick. I'm like, why would he get sick? So much so that I was told, okay, he gets sick in the car all the time. I can't take him anywhere. He throws up in the car. I can't take him. And I'm like, well, I coach, how to ease them into it. But in this session, she then tells me, oh, but he goes and gets grooming every other Tuesday. And I said, oh, so did you drive him to go get him groomed? She goes, oh, no. keep in mind, I live in San Diego. No, they come and pick him up. And I said, oh, really? And what do they pick him up in? Oh, a van. I said, oh. And where do they go? Oh, they go out, to, it's basically,
They
it's
drive
still
him somewhere.
county, but it's like 28 miles to where they go and come back. Maybe 20. Okay. I don't want to
Right, right.
And I said, oh, does he throw up when he goes there? And she goes, no. And I said, oh, okay.
Interesting.
So you're telling me that this dog throws up when he gets in the car? Yes. Okay. So, and would not let go of that story. Oh, he can't get in the car. He's afraid to get in the car. This and that. I did some work with him. I took him in the car. Dog did not throw up.
Right.
Right. Comes back home. She takes him somewhere, throws up in the car. Now, was she telling me a story, or was that really happening? The truth is it really happened, but that's how powerful your mind is. When you come up with a story, you can make it happen.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I brought that all the way around and showed, what happened and how this really wasn't happening with other people and how powerful the mind actually is, the aha was like, oh, and I started getting the messages, oh, jumped in the car, we went here, we went there, it was fine, he had so much fun, we went out to this, field and played. I was like, okay, but that's a perfect example of a story that we've created so hard that we've actually manifested it.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And yeah, so I mean, I'm just going to share my takeaway, and then I would like you to just maybe jump in with a closing. But my takeaway from this conversation that we're having is really that we want to focus on the positive result, not the negative action. And that we want to maybe even picture the end result rather than thinking about what we don't want to happen. Does that sound like, I mean, there's so many nuggets in this conversation. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. So let me sum that up. It's a big chunk to sum up. Right?
It is.
It really, really is.
Very well with
which is, why I like to just go on and on about this, and why I like coaching, why I do a group coaching program, mainly because I can't get this concept across in one session.
No.
There's a huge concept going on besides the training part. And so I think that's one of the things I also want to wrap up with is,
okay,
there is a difference between what you mentioned, which is focusing on the positive.
Yes.
And getting them to do what you want them to do, and all positive. Because the truth is, life is not all positive. Right. And so those moments when we go into that anxiety, we have to do something to bring ourselves out of that if we want to change that habit and get out of anxiety. Same goes with your dog, right? That isn't necessarily, and this is where people go down the road of, oh, if I just do all positive, it's all going to be easy and fun. They're just going to take this. No, it is discipline. It is discipline to be able to do that. But when you start making that choice, it becomes different. It also isn't something that I would say is where all positive goes down the road of like, oh, we just have to praise. No, there are consequences for continuing not to get up and do the practice every day.
Right.
But if you do, the difference is so astounding between getting up and thinking, oh, okay, I have to take the dog out for a walk. I got to get the leash. Oh no, this is going to happen. I just wish it could be easier. I really want to just walk down to the coffee shop and get a coffee and have a coffee in my hand and my dog in the other, and everybody can say so cute because that's why I got the dog. But no, I am trying to hang on and he's barking and I'm embarrassed and people are looking at me and I hate it and I just want it to be different. That's what you return to. And it becomes a habit. Now, do you want to feel that, or do you want to make all of those little choices Come on, let's go, sit. Let's put your leash on. Okay, let's walk down the street. That is all possible. It's just a matter of what you choose to practice every single day.
Love it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
JT Clough, I love how you wrapped that up. That was amazing. And I loved all, the voices you did and everything. That was fun. So JT Clough, thank you so much for all the nuggets that you dropped on us today. There's really so much to digest. What is your website? How can people find you?
Awesome. Okay. So my website, I send people to caninecoaching.com/contact. And the reason that I do that is because since I've been doing this for a couple of decades, let's just put it that way, I have a lot of different things that I can refer people to that you really can't just do in a website. And there are certain things that talk to certain people. And so I send them there because there's all kinds of different things that you could learn about or sign up for, or get a video on how to play with your dog. Play every day is one of my things. All kinds of different things. So that's why I send people there.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I send
everybody. Oh, sorry.
Whoops.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, and then lastly, where that goes as well is I do a lot of Instagram stuff. So I am at the JT Clough on Instagram, and you can find all kinds of fun things there.
Awesome. And everybody, of course, just like the other videos, I'm going to have everything clickable and ready for you to just jump right on so you can find JT. Very easy. JT Clough, thank you so much for being part of the Pet Lovers Summit. I really honor and appreciate everything that you do for the dogs and for their humans. You're really helping us to, you're paving the way to a new understanding to animal behavior, and it's truly appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. It was really fun. And
this is my pleasure.
Can't wait to see everybody.
Yeah. All right, love. Thank you.
All right.